I guess just what are your takeaways from the series this past weekend and how that carries you over into a big step up this week?
It was good to play. And then, as we go, the competition improves, which is great. But so far, the guys have answered the tests that have been put in front of them. And just, every practice day or game day is an opportunity for us to assess and improve.
Back right, Brett.
Coach, from just both sides of the ball game, first 5 games, the pitching rotation has allowed 2 or fewer runs, and on the offensive side, 10 or more runs. Have you felt like you've seen what you wanted to see from these guys out of the gates, and where do you feel like they can get better from here? Again, as Matt kind of said, the competition kind of steps up here this week.
I mean, you can only handle what's in front of you, right? And so far, they've handled what's in front of them. Yeah, I mean, the pitching's been solid. The hitting's been, solid. The defense been solid. But, I mean, it's just, I don't know. I mean, that's all you can really do is kind of look at what has been put in front of you, and they've handled it. And so, I mean, it's a new week. This week, same points of emphasis, playing really good quality baseball, team baseball. Starts with your defense and your team and the environment. And that's kind of where our focus is at right now.
On the left, Ryan.
Going on the road this week for the first time, just what changes about the operation of a road trip, and how do you want your team to attack a road weekend?
Get on an airplane versus sleep in your own bed, stay in a hotel versus, your own room. The process is pretty much the same. And so, nothing, we don't change anything. Regardless of where you play, you don't really change anything. So we get to play on the road. It should be a great tournament. I mean, I think the teams that are in the tournament, scheduled to be in the tournament, a team that was in the College World Series, Vanderbilt team that's traditionally really good, a UC Irvine team that's traditionally very good, very well coached. So I mean, it's a tournament that there's a reason why they put that one together, right? And it's with a lot of good teams in it. So it's going to be exciting. If we play good baseball, we should be in a good place.
Back move, the under.
Coach, talk to me a little bit about the mentality of your team, the mindset of them early on. We see when you guys win games, you want to win with a statement. Your pitchers, they bring that fire game in and game out. Just talk to me about that mindset your team has early on.
Yeah, so far so good. It's just a daily work in progress, right? I mean, you're just we play to a standard. I know that can be a cliche, I guess, out there, but it's true. And the standard is set by the team, and so yeah, we can help guide them through that kind of stuff. But it's really, we're trying to play to a certain way and a certain style, and when we do it, then we'll agree that we did it. And when we don't, we fall short. We try to assess it, and it. With this group, the fun part is it's come from within the player assessment versus the coach always having to be the assessor. And that's a really big deal because when you have a team of guys that care at that level and it's coming from within, I mean, their voices player to player are heard a lot stronger than it would be from coach to player. They do respect the coach to player relationship, but it always naturally is going to come better if it comes from the locker room. Right now we have a strong nucleus of guys in the locker room that are really taking care of their locker room in a good way to keeping the balance right.
Coach Leo's kind of been a super bright spot in the lineup as a freshman. Just feels like he's really seen the ball well, hitting it quite well. What have you seen from him just out of the gates that has allowed him to find just some early success, considering that, maybe that adjustment from a freshman to collegiate ball may take a little bit of a while. And for him, it feels like he's just getting it right out of the gates.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Angel's a really talented player. He turned a lot of money down to come be a Duck. And he's off to a good start, which is awesome. He looks old at the plate right now in the box. I think it's going to, with freshmen, they can, we just saw it last night with LSU, right? And I think LSU had a couple of guys in their lineup that finally struggled for the first day, and it happens with young players from time to time. And so, I think Angel's going to have his struggles just like any young or old player, but specifically a young player. And it's going to be less about, what he's done with his good at-bats and more how can he overcome the negative at-bats that he has or negative things that have happened. He's played very good defense. I think he robbed a home run last weekend, threw a guy out on bases. He's hit really well, and he's been a great guy in the locker room. So, on top of all that, I think he was on the dean's list. So the guy's doing things right? I mean, he's coming from a family that's a great family, and we can assist him with some of that, but he's coming in for the first year. We haven't even had him for a full year. He's getting that from home. And so, credit to his family.
Matt.
What do you make of just Cooney's start to the year in the field, at the plate, and just what makes him so consistent for you?
Same things made him consistent his whole life. He was a leader at Jesuit High School. He was the straw that stirred the drink there. He was the most clutch player we had a year ago on our team. A lot of guys had big stats, and Ryan led the team in hitting last year and had the most clutch hits. His presence on the field is tremendous. His leadership on the field is tremendous. Again, he's a Dean's List guy. He doesn't do anything, at a ridiculous level. And when he doesn't, if he ever falls short, he doesn't need anybody telling him. Like, he's very good at self-assessing. I think he's been parented very well, and this is a guy that gets it. And so it's surprise the start or whatever is absolutely no surprise. I've expected him to be a great player, and I think he'll be a guy that, like I've told scouts, wherever he gets slotted in this year's draft, he'll be a guy that makes a scout look better because he'll play better than wherever he's slotted.
There's obviously going to be a whole lot more baseball left after this weekend, but with the quality of opponents you guys are facing, what can a successful weekend do for this group of guys moving forward throughout the rest of the season if they can find success?
If they can find success this weekend and we win 3 games, and we'd be 3 more wins, right? So we'd be 11-0.
Gunner.
As you guys gear up to face U of A, what have you guys seen from them early on in the season, and what can you expect from them?
From Arizona?
Yes, sir.
They have elite pitching. The guy that they throw, and I don't think anybody's released their rotation quite yet, but we're assuming that the Kramkowski kid's going to throw on game 1, who's a super projectable right-handed guy, fastball cutter who's, mid to high 90s, great arm. They've got several bullpen pieces that are really good. Unfortunately, I think for Coach Hale, they lost an arm. Their closer, the Pluta kid, I think, ended up having season-ending issue. And so that was unfortunate for Arizona for sure, but they still have plenty of pieces back there. They have a mixture of right-handers and left-handers that can keep the score down. And so the objective is we just got to get to their pitching. I think if we can get to their pitching and we can get some runs on the board, I like our chances against Arizona.
Matt.
With Featherston on the mound and just his start, only a couple hits, no runs, a lot of strikeouts, no walks. Just what's made him so effective, you feel like, early on for you on the mound?
Maturity. He's a guy that's when he was younger, he was on Team USA. It's not like this kid is, just a guy that you found under a rock and he's here now and he's developing. I do think that Coach Flores done a nice job with him and helping him get to the next level. And he's passed all his tests so far, but there's only 2 weekends of work. He's passed those tests though in our scrimmage situation as well. And so it hasn't been just the 2 weeks of games that the people have seen. It's been a lot longer than that. He's in better condition. In a nutshell, he's in better condition. He took care of himself really, really well during the off season, right, which is basically that early January, late December period. From the time finals shows up. And Ryan was a guy that was back here basically, the day after Christmas, and he's training all the way up to Christmas, and then goes home for like a couple of days and comes back. And so this means a lot to him, and it shows. He's having success. He's been able to work with Coach Floor and Dan Straley down there, and I think there's been a pretty good potion for him so far in the short season. But yeah, he's pitched very well, and we look to get him the ball more and more.